Hi. How will Pisces affect the Leo, and how will Leo affect the Pisces? Why would they be in your life? Say your ascendant is in Leo. I always advise you to find out how others affect your ascendant with their sun sign or with their moon sign. This is the best way to see. So say your ascendant, to a lesser degree, sun or moon is in Leo, and there is a Pisces that appears in your life, like a child, like a husband, like whatever. Well, this person will trigger quite a difficult house in your life, which is the eighth house. So the Pisces will bring out the darker side of the Leo person, will stimulate it. Even a Pisces might become like a secret relationship. Someone with Sun or Moon or Venus in Pisces can really stimulate in the Leo ascendant person, or Sun or Moon to a lesser degree, the desire for private secret relationship, for something hidden. It can also stimulate the more darker side of the Leo person, or confront the Leo person with issues that the Leo person has never met before, like the darker side of life or the more unbalanced side of life. And also it's possible strong power struggles, because eighth house is a house of power struggles between people. So the Pisces person can trigger those issues into the life of the Leo, whether the Leo starts the power struggle or the Pisces. This cannot be said, but it's very possible that there might be fight for domination between those two people. And also eighth house, as I said, can be everything which has more power over you. So the Leo person might feel like sometimes that the Pisces person, that they cannot have control over the Pisces person, and they almost feel vulnerable because of that. They almost feel exposed, and they also the Pisces person might stimulate in the Leo person the desire to do those darker stuff. Maybe do something, you know. Stimulate, like, with their own presence, make the Leo person feel more vulnerable, by the Leo person, by coaxing the Leo person into more destructive patterns of behavior, let's say. And because of that, the Leo person reacts strongly and feels more vulnerable and more exposed. Also, the Pisces person, on a positive note, can act as a psychologist of the Leo person, because the eighth house is a very hidden, private house, and it triggers very deep emotional issues into the Leo person. So the Pisces person, a more evolved Pisces person, can be a very close friend to a Leo person, whether in a sexual or non-sexual relationship, because the Leo person can almost bare their soul in front of a Pisces, because they feel that the Pisces can see right through them, that the Pisces can read them like a book, because the eighth house is this very deep, intense, penetrating psychological house. So the Pisces person has this influence into the life of the Leo person, and almost like overpowering effect over them sometimes. But if they're more evolved person, the Pisces person will not trigger those issues of control and power and powerlessness through negative example, but through positive, by helping the Leo person overcome those issues of psychological disempowerment and of psychological weakness that they have within themselves. And for instance, I trigger my partner's eighth house. And so if I'm a Leo and he's Pisces, to give you the example, uh, sorry, if I'm the Pisces, he's the Leo, to give you the example, I trigger in him issues of control. There is always one trying to control and dominate over the other, or also bring into his life the occult, because eighth house is the house of hidden spiritual matters, occult matters, which he never had before into his life. So a Pisces person can very much stimulate in the Leo person the interest towards something occult, something hidden, something more intense, maybe learning psychology, maybe learning behavioral, and becoming more penetrating in their mind, becoming more introspective, introverted, self-analytical, and exploring their subconscious side. This is how a Pisces will affect the Leo person. This is how a Pisces will trigger for the Leo person to have interest in those areas, whether through by driving them mad and by having crazy fights with them, and the Leo person just needs to understand why they're like that, so they go within and they start learning more about themselves or observing more, or by personal example, by the Pisces person knowing a lot about these things and they introducing them into the life of the Leo. And let's see. But the Pisces person can be a great helper and therapist for Leo person, as I said, especially helping Leo person overcome, especially Leo ascendant person, overcome addictions, overcome problems of emotional nature, and overcome issues which are more powerful, which are holding the Leo person in a grip of fear, of negativity, and the Pisces person can be a transformational energy on a higher level for the life of a Leo person. But Pisces will definitely impact Leos very strongly because they trigger the most private, sensitive house, the most transformational, deep, obsessive. Sometimes Pisces can trigger very strong feelings of jealousy, obsession, on the more negative scale of the interaction between these two signs, and almost helplessness at some moments. But eventually, through this relationship, the Leo person will come out transformed and more empowered and more in control of their inner demons, let's say, of their inner fears and vulnerabilities. And let's see if you are the Pisces person. What if you're the Pisces person, Pisces ascendant, or less degree sun or moon? How will you affect the Leo? How will the Leo person affect you? We know how you will affect the Leo person, but the Pisces person will affect the Leo person again in a difficult house, the sixth house. And it's a house about dealing with responsibilities, with duties, with material difficulties and financial issues, with debt as well. So a Leo person can teach a Pisces person about those difficult things in life, and no one likes learning those things. It's usually through some difficult experience. And there can be more animosity and tension between the two signs. Say your Pisces ascendant and the Leo person triggers your sixth house, is the house of animosity and enmity. So there can be a bit more kind of, it's not competition even, it's more like tension between each other, more criticism. Often Leo person can be more critical to the Pisces person for some reason. Leo sun or moon can be more critical to ascendant, to lesser degree sun or moon in Pisces. And through this criticism though, the Leo person wants to push the Pisces person towards more perfectionism, towards more self-improvement. So Leo person can be a great fitness instructor for a Pisces person. A Leo person can be, for instance, uh, uh, when I've had relationship where my sixth house is triggered, this person was they would push me to improve, to be better, to wake up early, to have better physique, better health regime. And you might feel a bit, like attacked sometimes, but these people that God has brought them into your life. If you're a Pisces, God brings into your life the Leos to teach you how to be better of who you are, to teach you how to perfect your skills, how to perfect your daily regimes, your daily routines, how you handle your everyday affairs, how to be more efficient as well. Sixth house rules efficiency, so a Leo person can teach a Pisces person efficiency, even through a negative example. Even by themselves being totally inefficient or totally in debt or totally messed up, and the Pisces person feels like, this feels, well, I have to do something about it, so I have to organize myself and become more practical, more learn how to deal with practical matters better. Sixth house is also the house of fixing and solving problems, so the Leo person can be a great handyman for the Pisces ascendant person, someone who teaches them how to deal with the practical, more realistic side of life, how helps them, fixing things, the laptop or whatever. But these are trivial things. We don't care so much about that. But basically, Leos, if you're a Pisces ascendant and you're often attracting Leos, sun or moon people, or with planets in Leo, they're there because God or the universe wants you to purify. To purify yourself. Sixth house is house of purification, of health, improving health, being more efficient, being more practical, working harder, giving more service. So Leo people can inspire you towards giving more service, to being more conscientious and hardworking, again, through positive or negative example. It doesn't matter, you know. It's not always through personal positive example, sometimes it's by them doing just the opposite. So that's how the two signs affect each other. It's very it's more difficult interaction, very interesting, but extremely stimulating and transformational for both signs. Thank you.